All right, y'all. We're tackling one of the most argued about questions in the whiskey world, a question that has ruined friendships, started bar fights, and confused many beginners than any other. What's the difference between bourbon and whiskey? And listen, if you've ever asked, aren't they the same thing? You're not wrong, but you're not right. Let's break it down Wowdy Proof style. Let's start with a pretty simple way to think about this. If you will, there's an umbrella company or ideology or item, and it's whiskey. So whiskey is this umbrella, and underneath of it is anything that falls or is protected by that name of whiskey, right? And so you got things like Scotch and Irish whiskey, but also bourbon. And so bourbon is underneath the umbrella of whiskey. So think of whiskey like music. You got rock and jazz and hip hop and country, all these different styles, all still music. Same thing here. You got bourbon and rye and scotch and Irish whiskey, Japanese whiskey. They're all whiskey. They just follow different rules. Now, here's where it gets spicy, right? Bourbon has to follow certain rules. Rule number one, it has to be made in the United States, not just Kentucky. Kentucky might make the best, but legally, bourbon can come from anywhere in the United States. Rule number two, it must be at least 51% corn. And that's where the sweetness comes from. Because corn gives you some of those caramel, vanillas, and dessert vibes. Rule number three, it must be distilled at no more than 160 proof. This keeps the grain character intact. Rule number four, it must be barreled at 125 proof or lower. You can't just dump rocket fuel in a barrel and call it bourbon. Rule number five, it must be aged in new charred oak barrels. Now, this is a big one. Brand new barrels, charred on the inside, never reused. Rule number six, it must be bottled at 80 proof or higher. Anything below that, not bourbon. You break any one of these rules, congratulations, you made whiskey, but you didn't make bourbon. Now, whiskey, on the other hand, whiskey can be made anywhere. It can be made with any grain: barley, rye, wheat, corn, oats, whatever. It can be aged in reused barrels, wine barrels, rum barrels, toasted barrels, you name it. It goes on and on and on. Whiskey is the playground. Bourbon is the honor student that follows the rules. So why does bourbon taste like caramels and vanillas? Why does rye taste spicy? Why does scotch taste smoky or malty? It all comes down to your grain choice, your barrel type, the climate, distillation proof, aging rules. Bourbon's high corn content gives it its sweetness. New charred oak gives it caramel and vanilla, baking spices type of flavors that it pulls from the barrels. The American climate, hot summers, cold winters, pushes whiskey deep into the wood. Meanwhile, your rye whiskey gives you this spice, peppery, minty kind of flavors. Scotch will give you a malted, smoky, fruity flavor. Irish whiskeys give you that smooth, light, honeyed flavors. And Japanese whiskeys give you that delicate, refined, oak forward flavors. Same family, just totally different personalities. All right, let's put them to the test, right? We got a bourbon right here, full proof, Green River bourbon, 120.2 proof on this batch. Driftless Glen rye whiskey, 124 proof barrel pick. So both of them got some complexities to them. Both are going to hit real heavy for 120 proofers. Let's see what we got. So in the Glencairns in front of us, we got both pours. This is the bourbon. This is the rye. Looking a lot alike. 120 proof. Probably similar age statements, that 4 to 7 year range on both. The rye was definitely about a 58-month one. So just under 5 years, but let's go with the bourbon first. Definitely going to get some oak, obviously, is going to be the foundation. Caramels, vanillas in there. Get a little taste of it. I love myself a good high proof bourbon. Um, Definitely got that caramel, vanilla. It definitely is mellow and it kind of goes into that finish where that oak kind of comes more pronounced. The rye whiskey got some same sweetness to it, some vanilla, a little more fruitiness to this. Um, that a little bit spice maybe on the back there, but get a little taste of this one. Mm. Mm-hmm. World's difference, totally different vibe. Got some sweetness in the front, fruitiness, and then instead of like oakiness, you get a definite spiciness. You get a peppery finish to it. So at the end of the day, one's gonna have more spice, maybe more fruit. This is gonna have more oakiness, more vanillas, more caramels. It's just a different style, but this is not bourbon. So here's the final word. Every bourbon is a whiskey, but every whiskey is not a bourbon. Bourbon follows those rules, while whiskey is plain jazz. Hey, if you want to dive deeper into mash bills, barrel science, tasting techniques, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and let me know what you want to see next. This is Rob with Wowdy Proof. I'll see you in the next pour.